Alright, we're going to take a stab at this with a tool. So, of course, at some point you've measured it with your shim when the cam is 90 degrees away and the heel is down there, right? So the next thing you do is you find this notch in the bucket, right? And it might be down here or whatever. Don't do this under a tree. So you just pull it over here because you need that to get a screwdriver under there. Hopefully not a magnetized one. Might get that under there and pop it out. But the next step is to hand crank down here. So this is now pressing all the way in. So crank it. I've left my spark plugs in because I'm under a tree and I don't need any more holes for things to fall into. But you can take the spark plugs out and it'll make it easier to turn because there's no compression. Alright. And down here, make sure you don't bang against anything while you're turning. So now it is pretty much down. So take your handy dandy tool and you'll see there's a little nubbin on the end here. That nubbin needs to be centered on the bucket, right? If it's cockeyed, this ain't gonna work. So, right in here. Let me make sure. Alright. Looks good, but hard to tell. Do your best not to cross thread. Come on, you. Jesus. There we go. Alright, again, making sure. And you want it to be nice and straight here. Again, make sure that puppy stays spot on. Tighten it down. Alright. Now, every time we've been cranking this, we've been cranking counterclockwise, moving the engine forward. But this thing has enough force, strength in it, that if you turn the cam against that, the lobe, you definitely, most definitely, could crack your head, your engine block. That would suck. I think you get the idea. So, in this case, often you will have to slowly and carefully turn clockwise, the opposite direction, so that... Oh, I guess not in this case. In this case, we are still going clockwise. This one I had to do counter. And ignore the AC. So, the idea is when this starts to come up, you'll be able to tell right away if you got this right, because as the lobe comes up, the bucket will not come past the surface of the block here, right? And then you'll be able to pop out the shim. And again, as you get higher up here, get up to 90 degrees and do not go further, because again, if you're turning into that, you will crack ungodly things. Right? So now, let's see if that worked. I'm not sure that worked because it doesn't look like my shim is coming up, but we'll see. Alright, what are my tools? Gotta get my tools. So there's a little bit of an ongoing debate about whether it matters if you use magnetic tools. The general rule is not to. I'm playing it safe and using some tweezers and regular old screwdriver to pop up the shim, pluck it out. By the way, make sure you cover any holes, because that's not something you want to have to fish out of your engine. Flip it over. There's your number. Write that number down, and you'll use that and the difference that you measured with your gauge to determine what new shim needs to go in. There you go, XJ750. That's how you do that. By the way, once you've noted this, put that guy back in and move on to the next. You cannot take all of these all out at once, because then again an elephant herd will disappear off the place we call Earth.